Beloved in the Lord Jesus, Paul commands us by the Lord Jesus Christ, who's going to judge the living and the dead, to preach the word. Be instant in season and out of season. The word is good to reprove, rebuke, and exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. So Paul is telling us that there is a falling away in the last days. Not once saved, always saved. He says to preach the word, to contend for the faith, like Jude says. And for you guys that are saying that pre-trib rapture and once saved, always saved under Paul's gospel, you guys are violating Paul's very words. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, Paul said, don't do that. Don't say you're of Paul or of Apollos or of Peter. Is Christ divided? We're supposed to be preaching Christ and have the same judgment and all be of one mind. So the pre-tribbers and once saved, always saved are literally saying they're of Paul's gospel when Paul said don't do that in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Paul said that in the last days, the Spirit expressly states that some will depart from the faith into seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. The proof that they've abandoned the faith is they speak lies and hypocrisy, and their conscience is seared as with a hot iron. Jesus said, he who endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. And Paul said, many will not endure sound doctrine, but they will heap up for themselves teachers who will preach to their itching ears, according to their own lusts, and according to myths and fables, like pre-trib rapture.
And Paul writes again in 1 Corinthians 3, he says that if you are doing that, if you are saying that I am of Apollos or I am of Paul, okay, if I am of Paul's gospel, he says that you're actually carnal for doing that. He says that no man has laid any other foundation other than that which has already been laid, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. But how is the Lord Jesus Christ your foundation if you're rejecting his words? It goes on to say that you and your works will be tried by fire, and only what was done in Jesus Christ will last. So again, Paul writes that our works matter. Again, Paul writes that he is preaching the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, and he does not come bringing another gospel, the gospel of Paul.